Okay. So we'll officially call the meeting to order at 6:40 p.m. Quick attendance. Catherine is here. Matt also here. And very quickly, motion A, approve the GTLNC June 8th outreach and elections minutes. Matt, do you want to first or second?
I'll first it.
Catherine will second. Any discussion on the minutes?
I don't have any.
Great. Then we'll vote. I vote yes to pass the minutes.
I vote yes too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So welcome, Stacy, to the Outreach and Elections Committee meeting. We have an official agenda, but since there's only the three of us here, we're a pretty relaxed committee. This is the public comment section. If you had some specific public comment you wanted to make that's not about something on the agenda. Right now, the agenda is preliminary planning for next year's elections, reviewing our website, and a quick update about the homeless resources guide that we will be adding to the website in the process of updating the website.
That all sounds good to me.
Great. So we'll dive into the very first thing, which is preliminary planning for next year's elections for the neighborhood council. Just doing a basic overview of what our outreach strategy, events, and a review of the votetolucalake.org website. So not to monopolize the conversation, but we do have the Vote Toluca Lake elections website back up and running, which is great. We managed to get that done with TYS, who are the ones that designed the website and help manage it. We do have access to update it as we please. So it won't be an additional cost other than a couple things that may require their assistance when it comes to structural changes to the website. And to go over what we've done in the past, we usually do a candidate forum. Years past, it's been in person, but of course, this past election, it was on Zoom. And while I think that it'd be nice to do it in person, I think it was really helpful to have a recording of the event. So depending on where things are COVID-wise next year, my recommendation is that we aim for doing an in-person event that we can also record and put onto our GTLNC YouTube channel for people to watch if they can't make it to the in-person event. Does that sound too ambitious, pretending that we're going to be able to do an in-person event next year?
I hope we can do an in-person event next year. I feel like we should be able to do an in-person event next year.
Yeah, I hope so too. And, you know, as we start getting more guidance from the city on what we're allowed to do in person, we can figure out locations. I know that in the past we've done it at Harmony Church on Cahuenga. We might be able to use the elementary school, Toluca Lake Elementary School, where we used to do our in-person meetings, just depending on when it ends up being and also what COVID protocols are, especially for schools. They might be different than private institutions.
Yeah. Erica was already talking about having our actual meetings in person again. So I have to believe we're going to be able to do this event in person.
I hope so. I've just learned not to predict things like that. One of the other things that had been discussed in previous years was sort of to do little candidate intro videos. There are obviously candidate statements that people are able to write, but I don't know if we want to create an opportunity for people to submit a short video, or for us to work with people to have them just show up to a little mini Zoom session. We record that and then snip out their videos to put in like smaller bites on the website, just in case someone doesn't want to watch an entire, 2-hour long candidate forum, but might be willing to click on a 30-second intro video for someone. Do we think that's too big of an ask given the size of our current outreach?
I mean, I think it would be easier. I actually love the idea of candidates doing it, but I think it would be easier if candidates do it themselves and just submit it. And we're just very clear about, you've got 30 seconds max. I think that would be easier.
Okay.
Although, so my question is, okay, that's fine, but does somebody have to approve each video before it gets published?
I guess that's a good question. Maybe we should talk to Erica. Oh, Stacy, when we say Erica, Erica is our Department of Neighborhood Empowerment rep. So she is the person that works for the city of LA that specifically is assigned to assist our neighborhood council. So that might be a question for Erica, because with the candidate statements that go on, the city website, I don't know that there's any oversight on those.
Oh, that's really interesting. I figured there would have to be.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I feel like I don't recall if there was a delay after, submitting my candidate statement between when I submitted it and when it showed up, because presumably they wouldn't want to allow anything obscene or that's personally attacking anyone.
Right.
But I have no idea if anyone was actually reading those candidate statements to check.
Do you want me to email Erica and ask her?
Yeah. Why don't you ask her?
I'll do that right now.
Thank you. And, at the end of the day, if we needed to, we could also just use the 30-second intros that people give at the candidate forum as their little intro videos. We just snip those out and make them easier to access.
Who uploads the videos?
So right now, Colby and Robin and I all have access to the YouTube channel. But, it would depend on how we want to upload the videos. I can upload them. We would not be, allowing individuals to upload directly to our YouTube channel, obviously, but.
Okay. But you know what? I'm gonna just say something. You take on too much, Catherine. So we're gonna find. Well, it's only 3 of you actually who can do it. Then is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular case, it's not a big lift because there will be, a couple dozen candidates most likely, and just someone would have to upload them. It doesn't take that long. It sort of works on its own, but let's first determine if there's anything that Dunn would require us to do in order to approve the videos, or any sort of like specific instructions we'd have to give people about, XYZ is not allowed in the video, and videos that contain that will be rejected and you'll be requested to do another video or something. We can figure it out once Erica gives us some more guidance.
Okay. I'm going to send her an email.
Great. So right now, based on, and this is a little bit my conjecture, but based on past schedules, I believe that our candidate filing period will probably be from mid to late February through early April, maybe late March. So I recommend that we really start getting the word out in January, which means that if there's anything that we want to fund, we either need to have it funded by the end of November, because we're usually dark in December. So we need to make the plans in September and October and propose whatever costs there are going to be for our November meeting, so that we can get any mailers, any ads set up and running, by the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So that should be on our agenda for what, like September, to figure out costs?
Yeah, I think we figure out what we want to do as far as our actual game plan for, do we want to do another mailer? Do we want to do social media ads and price those out and figure out options for potential suppliers if we're going to do the printed mailers? I don't particularly want to use the person that we used last time, just because I think the print quality was poor. And then by November, get that approved so that we can place the orders, because there is oftentimes a decent amount of lead time you need to do,
Okay.
particularly if you're going to use like a Staples or something to do the mailers. And again, if we're not going to do mailers, that changes the equation, but particularly if there are mailers that are going to go out, those can't just be set up in a week or two.
Right.
That requires like 6 weeks usually.
Okay. By the way, Jake never got back to you, did he, about social media, huh?
No, I didn't get a response from Jake on that question.
Okay. Do you think that we should look into that table at the farmer's market?
Yes, I think it would be a really good idea for us to start getting out there in the community more, to basically any place that we gather. I know that there's going to be a national night out coming up at the beginning of August that we're going to have some presence at. So we should probably coordinate with, I'm guessing, the Public Safety Committee. At least historically, they've been lead on it, to see what we can do there. I don't know if we'll have a table or what exactly our presence will be, but we have some tablecloths with our logo on them. We've got a handful of giveaway items like pens, and we might still have a couple tote bags and little plastic drink cups.
Okay.
So yeah, anything to get our name out there in a way that people remember. And if we think of other types of giveaways that are better, like the pens are actually very nice pens, but they're just pens. I don't know what will be useful to people that they would want it, take it, and be looking at it and using it every day, right. Or regularly. Stacy, sorry, go ahead. I didn't see your hand.
Oh, no worries. I don't know if that's what I should do. No,
honestly, we're relaxed. You can just chime in whenever you want.
No, Matt brought up the farmer's market. I know you were there on Sunday. They're having problems getting people to come.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk to Rich, and I was going to try to help him do publicity with their website and try to get people in that way. Mm-hmm. But he might be willing to give you guys a table, just because that might get more feet into the farmer's market.
Yeah, I mean, if we can advertise on our social media, on our website, and say, meet your GTLNC board members at the farmers market, maybe some people will just be like, I'm curious what these folks look like in real life. Haven't seen them anywhere but Zoom.
So am I, by the way. So am I. Can we actually ask for volunteers next week? Because like I said last time, I'll do it. I'm happy to man part of the table, but I'd love to have help. So can we add that to to ask for volunteers at the meeting next week?
Yes, absolutely.
So like I said, I'll do it. And then thank you, Stacy, for your help. Whatever you can do, whatever I can do to get us a table, that would be great.
Well, I'm gonna talk to Rich. You talk to him after this meeting or tomorrow, definitely, and see what he says.
Okay, cool.
Because
Thank you.
He gave us, as Catherine knows, a buy nothing booth for free, because that's been bringing some feet into the farmers market to help out.
Cool. Well, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And yeah, I'm happy to. I like being in behind tables and trying to get people's attention. So, okay, cool.
And hopefully the weather will be cooler.
Yeah, I'm not thinking August, but maybe like September would be good, or yeah, that would be cool. That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, and maybe it's something where we're not there every single week, but every other week or twice a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And I think we should figure out what we want information wise at the booth. Do we want to have a little printout of the meeting schedule with a QR code that goes to our website so that if someone wanted to snap a picture of that page, they could, have all the information on when our meetings are and have a QR code to remember our website? What sorts of things do we need to have at the booth so that people have takeaways?
To save money, I was going to say, because you could just do one QR, you could have two QR codes, like one on each side, and one could be to the website and the other one could be to the meetings. So if you don't want to spend money on paper.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Also, I would love, as we talked about last time with social media, we should at least have information on our social media so people can sign up.
Sign up for the newsletter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also we have an Instagram page. They should know about our Instagram page anyway.
Instagram is, I think, the only social media of ours that I follow.
It's also the only one that I follow, but still, it's so Stacy, we had this really cool, there's a really cool report from the city, and it kind of talks about how the councils reach out to folks, and how people, the mailings and all that stuff, but social media was like 6%, or it was silly. And so Catherine and I were talking about how we can get the social media better, but then also more people signed up for it. And that's why we had thought to reach out to Jake, who's our student rep on the council. We could use somebody to help us snazzy up our social media.
Well, I was just thinking, why don't you just follow everyone who follows you, or do a search for Toluca Lake residents and just follow them?
Yeah.
So my only hesitation there is I don't know if, and this again might be a question for Erica, I have no idea whether or not there were restrictions on who neighborhood council follows.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes.
When you work with the city, there are sometimes rules that you just don't think about. And I know that there is a social media policy that they were working on, and I don't know whether it got finalized yet, but we should try to track that down, because it's in relation, I think, both to official social media of the neighborhood council, as well as technically applying to the social media of neighborhood council members. Like in our ethics training, I don't know if it was our ethics or one of the other trainings that we take, I remember they told us that, you know, commenting on another board member's post about something related to council business could be construed as meeting outside of an official meeting. So like it, there are all kinds of weird rules that we have to make sure we follow. But I think that's a good idea. I also was wondering if it might be effective to boost some of our posts, particularly things for our participation at community events and for our maybe general board meetings, just to see if we can pay a few pennies, a few dollars to reach people that might not already be following us.
I'll put that, I'm gonna send, I'll include that in the email I'm sending to her.
Thank you.
I'll ask about that. Because I do agree, Stacey, it would be it's a really great idea to start following people. But that would be so annoying if we can't. I understand why the city would say not to, but
yeah, I just don't want us to get crosswise with the city.
No, of course, but I think that would be a great idea. So, okay. But either way, we can still have that at the booth so people can start following Instagram.
Yes. I think it would be great to have QR codes for all of our socials for people to be able to just be like, I want to follow on Facebook. I want to follow on Nextdoor. Can you follow on Nextdoor? I don't have Nextdoor.
I don't, you have to join Nextdoor.
Yeah.
But it's not a follow, or at least not that I've noticed, that you could just follow when someone
Right.
I forgot, but I do see your post on Nextdoor.
Great.
The GTLNC.
Yeah. Okay, so right now our rough calendar is in September. We work on the game plan for what we want to actually purchase as far as promotion related to the election and cost it out. And then in either October or November, we will propose those funding motions to the board so that we can make those purchases. We are going, sorry, go ahead.
The only thing I would say maybe for next week, if it's even, if we could, is like just to ask for like, I don't know. I mean, if we only have pens, that's one thing, but maybe, I don't know, some kind of giveaway at that table, something that we can hand out.
Yeah, we definitely can't do it in time for this month's general meeting. And let me tell you, Matt, we're almost ran out of letters for number of motions at this month's meeting.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Stacey, you should come. But it's our annual meeting. So we are selecting the exec, we're selecting committee chairs. So that stuff all takes up a long time. And then we also have the normal part of the meeting where, you know, we're actually doing council business. So it'll be a marathon, but hopefully it'll be a relatively calm meeting for most of it. Yeah, so we can't add anything to the agenda at this point.
Okay.
But if we come up with ideas for promo items that we think would be really useful, let's brainstorm and figure out what those might cost and maybe even get a funding motion on our September agenda.
Okay, that's perfect. I mean, it's not very much money, you know what I mean? So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know depending on the promo items, they can be pretty inexpensive, but I also want to make sure that we're not just producing waste, that these are things that people will actually take and use.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, I'm a huge proponent of those little tote bags that you can roll up and, you know, stick in a purse or a bag.
And people carry those
People
around.
will notice that.
Yeah. Those would be
Think,
what I like.
think about it this way: if you're at Trader Joe's, someone whips that out of their bag and just takes it out, and you see the stuff being put in, you might be like, "Where did you get that?"
Yeah.
Love that. You know what? That's what we should. How about Catherine? We decide right now. That's what we should make. We should give away those tote bags with our logo on it.
Okay. I'll do a little bit of research into where we can get those and what they would cost, and we can add it to the September agenda.
There you go.
Great.
That was easy.
All right.
My voice.
And especially,
No,
I was going to say, if you're giving them out at the farmer's market, people will buy food. It'll help to have the tote bags with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, okay, good. We figured that. I'm under the weather and my voice is actually starting to go, Catherine. So.
Okay. I'm gonna really quickly screen share just for a second. So first I'm gonna go into the Vote Toluca Lake website. At the top, we've still got last year's election date. So we'll have to talk to TYS about updating that and updating this little logo that they have. But as far as the way the website works, I think it worked pretty well. We have a page that is dedicated specifically to listing out all of the people running. And up at the top, we would have a link that linked to how to sign up if you wanted to be a candidate during the open period. We've got resources for voters as well as candidates. We've got a schedule. And this one's nice because you can also add a link. So like during the candidate filing period, you can have a link to become a candidate. If there's a Meet the Candidates forum, you can have a link to the recording, or if we're doing it on Zoom, a link to the Zoom before it happens. So I think it works pretty well. I would encourage you guys to, when you have time, take a look at the website, see if there are things that you'd like to see changed, that you think are confusing. We want to make this something that is simple and easy to navigate, but does have all of the information. I felt like the voter information page was overwhelming because how to vote last year was so complicated. The way that requesting a ballot, I mean, there's like a 3-part YouTube video series to navigate the portal. So any way that we can find to make this as clear but simple, would love suggestions. And this is once again, votetolucalake.org. And then with our main website, I would love any suggestions for improving it. We obviously have some issues as far as, meetings disappearing once they start in the event section. And, I kind of want to change these images out so that they're easier to tell what they're related to. I'm a very visual learner. So like if this can be a little icon badge that I can easily be like, oh, that's the governmental meeting, not some people at a table. That would be helpful for me. And, figuring out what we can do to make the website better. The big thing that I want to see happen is have an FAQ page that people can go to. And so whatever questions you guys have that you think other people would have about the neighborhood council, things like, what is an NPG or a neighborhood purpose grant? What is a CIS, a community impact statement? How do I request funding for a neighborhood purpose grant from the neighborhood council. How do I, ask the neighborhood council to submit a CIS about a city council file? All the different things that we get questions about. If we can have an FAQ page that's easy for people to find and easy for people to learn about the neighborhood council and what we can do for them, I think that would help us. I also want to move this sign up for the newsletter from the bottom of the homepage to the top. I want it to be a button up here at the top. So, yes.
I think those are all great. I like the idea of the moving first of all that up to the top of the page, and then I'll think about some questions.
Yeah, and honestly, peruse the website. If you see things that you think are confusing, that need to be fixed, that need updating, I've definitely noticed some things that are outdated. This is going to be an ongoing project where I think the outreach committee needs to take ownership and just occasionally do a little mini audit of various pages of the website just to see if we need to update, say, committee chair names and emails, or we need to update who is the contact person for our city council member's office. Those are things that we just need to keep on top of. And I think as the outreach committee, we might need to take ownership of that. So yeah, any suggestions for improvement of the website are very much welcome. I really do genuinely want to hear them all, because we'd like our website to be much more navigable for everyone. And of course, one of the other things that we'll be putting on the website is a resources guide for homeless resources. And I think we can probably put that in the Our Community section, because that already has a lot of other local area resources. And I think maybe adding in green resources as well, like where the safe centers are for dropping off things like solvents, electronic waste, other flammable and dangerous household items. Just making this a resource that people know about and feel comfortable going to find information on.
Right. I think you saw my email to right to the homeless organization. I'm still waiting to get the guide. I don't know what is taking so long. So
yeah, I mean, that is sometimes people take a while to get back to you.
I'm seeing some things you can do with the drop-down menus on top. Like you could add the fact, the about us, like meet the council, GNT, the boundaries, and then bylaws, and then you could do like FAQ.
Yeah.
And then instead of COVID-19 resources, turn that into a drop-down with resources, and then do like COVID-19, green, and stuff like that.
That sounds good. Yeah, to have a drop-down for resources.
And then like with the committees, instead of having, the general board meeting agendas, like just putting that with the committee meeting, like putting that with the drop down, like, so it's not on the front page.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe instead of, yeah, it is kind of not intuitive to have to just scroll down to the bottom of the main page to find the general meeting agendas.
So that could maybe just be a page, and then they can see it on top, like where to go to.
Yeah.
and maybe move our community to about us.
Yeah,
And then
so
you
the
can-
our community is actually more like resources.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing
So I
that
think
now.
it could be like, you know, city resources. I'm very curious where the contact us form actually goes. I'm going to do a little investigation and see if I can figure that out. Okay. Well, I know that Matt, your voice is starting to go, and I don't want to keep everyone super late, but I think we have a decent game plan for the election outreach. We're going to look into some giveaways to use at the farmers market. Stacy, you're going to reach out to Rich about us having a booth at the farmers market. Matt, you're checking in with Erica about what our restrictions are related to requirements for candidate intro videos, as well as any social media rules that we need to be following, particularly when it comes to following people. And we're going to start working on updating the website and making it a little easier to navigate so that people can find all the info.
Perfect.
Anything else that we would like to tackle as the Outreach and Elections Committee?
Are we trying to bring in new members? Or new?
Yes. I think that maybe we need to have a way for people to. One of the things I wanted was to have a button on the website where someone could, like, I always love to use a Google form because they're so easy, but you know, click on a Google form and say, I'm interested in joining, check off however many committees. And then someone, probably me or Robin, would get sent an email when someone submits to that form. And we would send that person's contact information to the chair of whatever committees they selected, so that they could be invited to the next committee meeting. That might be a little bit too clunky. And I don't want to impose more on Robin.
Yeah. No, I do think that's a really good idea. But we are looking for members. So
I think so too, because like when I was talking to Colby about joining, and I said I would join this, I couldn't figure out how to do it via the website to like say I wanted to join the committee.
Well, Stacy, we would love to have you as a committee member. So
Thank you.
I think I have your email from the election. So I'm going to go ahead and send you an email so that you have mine as well. It's on the website too, but we are going to be dark in August. All the committees, I believe, unless something's changed, but all of the committees and the general meeting are not going to meet in August. We take that month off, very European of us. But we'll be back in September. And I guess this is a question for both of you at this point. I had put down for our next meeting, Wednesday, September 7th, which is the first Wednesday of September. Do we want to be first Wednesday of September, or first Wednesdays for our meetings? Do we want to do second Wednesdays? We've been doing that for the last couple weeks or couple months.
we've been doing second, right? So
We have been doing second. Do we want to stick with second Wednesdays and just make that the rule, or do we want to go back to first Wednesdays and move it when we need to?
personally, I like the second Wednesday better. if that's possible for, I mean, it's just you and me at this point, unless Erica, are you joining us? Have you decided you want to, Erica, sorry. Stacy, have you decided that you want to join
Yeah,
us?
I will join you. So I'm neutral. I'm easy.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do second Wednesday then. That works for everybody. Then
Yes.
for September, our meeting will actually be on September 14th. So I will make sure that the website gets updated with that new schedule. Well, I say this now, assuming Matt, you and I end up being the co-chairs of outreach again, then we'll go ahead and do second Wednesdays going forward.
I guess we'll find out next week.
We will find out next Tuesday or possibly after midnight. So technically it'll be Wednesday.
Jesus. So do we make I'm so excited, Stacy. I'm so excited. So do I make a motion to have Stacy join us? How does this work?
We don't really need to do a motion.
Okay.
Stacy just requests to join. We say great, and then
Great.
we have your email, and we will, whenever there is a meeting, you'll get an email about a week before it with all of the meeting documents, which will usually be the agenda, the minutes from the last meeting, and anything that we might be voting on. So for instance, if we were gonna have a motion related to purchasing the branded bags, the logo bags, I would probably have a couple images of what they would look like and pricing from different vendor options, so that we can consider our options. And yeah, those are the sorts of things you get in advance of the meeting.
That's fine with me.
Great. We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be on the committee. And whatever you need help with, just ask.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Find more people. Get more people to join us. That is priority one, in my opinion.
Do you want me to say something? I don't think I could technically say something in the Buy Nothing group or on the Toluca Lake and Friends group.
Yeah, I think particularly the Toluca Lake and Friends group would be a great place to start. Just letting people know that the neighborhood council exists and that people can attend our meetings. It's sort of a weird time to start promoting ourselves because we're dark in August. So maybe let's do it towards the end of August.
Matt, do you know about the Facebook pages that I run?
No, but I'd love to hear about it.
Well, they're just two. I'll make it very fast because I know you're losing your voice. And basically, Buy Nothing is a group where people get rid of stuff they no longer need. So it could be anything from like makeup to food to clothes. I've got an Roomba, just all different types of stuff. But Buy Nothing is an international group, but they're hyper localized because they want you to get to know your community. And I've made friends on there, and a lot of us have. It's a good little community group in a way. And because nothing can be like financial or political or anything like that, I created the sister group, Toluca Lake and Friends, where people can talk about anything that's related to like Toluca Lake in the area. So those are the two groups, but it's all about helping. I'm strong about helping the community and bringing the community together. So
that's really cool. I didn't know about it, so thank you. I'm gonna look. Well, I never go on Facebook, but I'll go on.
I only go on Facebook to go to Buy Nothing.
I'll do that right now.
It is the only thing I do on Facebook.
And yeah, you will find other people will say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it's like I'd love to, have, like, the other day Tess called me and asked me to post about her garbage cleanup. So I posted about that in both groups, and I don't know if any of the members came or not, but there's stuff like that we can do. So like, let's say if y'all are gonna have, when you decide you want to have the booth at the farmer's market, we can publicize it there. The Buy Nothing group has about 1,600 members, and the Chillicothe and Friends is about 750.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think the broader lesson almost from this is partnering with other groups in the area to get word out about the neighborhood council's existence, period. Maybe we need to talk to some of the more established groups as well, like Chamber and Homeowners Association, and make sure that they're letting their membership know if they've got newsletters or something that go out, that the neighborhood council is also a resource for them. Just finding all the local groups and local organizations that are already doing their own outreach to their people and see if we can piggyback.
yeah.
And it's free.
Yes. All right. Well, unless there is anything else, I'm going to give everyone the rest of their evening back.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Catherine.
Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the team, Stacy. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here, and we'll go ahead and close this evening's meeting at 7:26. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Y'all, bye-bye.